BWW cylinder head. Somebody has broken and destroyed some of the bolt holes that hold the valve cover down.
This is Tom at Jerry's Broken Drill and Tap Removal. Had this head been brought to us, or the vehicle brought to us with the broken bolts untouched, not drilled, we would have gotten every one of these bolts out and saved the original thread, which would have probably been done in probably a third the time, and the cost, the savings would have been huge. Right here, the bolt ceased coming out. Okay, so we have to burn that bolt out and fix the threads if they're not bad. This one here had a broken bolt in it. Someone tried to drill it out, and if you were to look at it carefully, you can still see a portion of broken bolt left right there. See? Pieces of broken bolt left because they drilled it off center. So we have to get the remaining pieces out of there, get the hole ground back on center, and then fix it by installing this thread insert. That's how we're going to fix it, for sure. Okay, pieces of broken bolt still remain in these threads. So we not only have to get this broken bolt out, the remains of this one, the remains of this one, and the remains of this one, and then install inserts, solid steel inserts. In this case, these are 7mm diameter holes. So after we get this bolt out, if there's thread damage, we'll put an insert in it, that style. It's called a time insert. We're definitely going to have to put one in this hole because by the time we get it out, the threads are going to be oversized or elongated and it won't hold a bolt, so we'll have to repair it with this insert. This one here is going to be take the same thing. We'll get any remaining portion of broken bolt out because it was drilled off center, drill it, tap it, and install this insert, and the same with this one here. Okay, this hole here is in such bad shape it's going to require not only some special machine work, but I'm going to have to make an insert to repair that hole to get it back on location. What we'll have to do on this particular hole is we're going to have to, you see how far off center this has been ground? Here's the original hole right here. This doesn't belong there. That's how far off center it is. So what we have to do is go in and grind it an equal distance this direction to get the hole back on center. And then we'll have to do the same on this side and this side. We've got to grind everything away the same distance that this is from the center line. We grind it over this direction, same distance from the center line. Whatever hole we end up with determines what size insert that I make to repair that hole. But when we're finished, the hole is going to be original stock 7mm, regardless of whether I have to plug it and start from scratch and re-drill it with a solid plug in it, or I make an insert for it on the lathe. There's 3 or 4 different methods that will determine which is the best once we get the hole ground back to where it belongs, ground on center.
The threads in this hole have been damaged and we need to insert. First we're going to drill this damaged thread out to the proper size for the insert. And drilled the hole to accept the tap. Drilled the minor diameter to accept the tap. And now I have to drill a counter bore that will accept the head of the inserts. We're going to thread the hole and then install the insert. This is our own guide that we have made to make sure that the tap goes in the hole perfectly square. Guide's a little bit long for this tap, so we'll have to pull the guide off now that we have the tap started. Now the tap has been started. I'll double check the squareness, make sure that we're doing okay. Precision is very important. If this tap were to go crooked, then there's a possibility that you might not be able to get the bolt back in the hole. That looks good. Acetone is a very good solvent that doesn't leave any oily residue behind. That way we can be sure that the Loctite will bond and that the insert will not come back out. This is the Loctite that we're going to use. A little drop on there.
We see this all the time. As a matter of fact, we call ourselves the last resort. I mean, I would say a rough estimate would be every other job that comes in here, someone's already tried to repair, which ultimately ends up in more work for us and more cost to the customer.